Three, two, one, go! Three, two, one, go!
One, two, coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. And shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP the Ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it, my words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it, you know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly, we ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all, peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah, come on. Hey.
It's November 30th. That's going to be a very important part of the show. It's episode 361, and you're watching and or listening to the PHPUgly podcast. We are a weekly podcast that streams. We talk about the PHP programming language, the day-to-day life of a PHP developer, and running a business that is focused on the PHP programming language, as well as its surrounding community. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. And if it's not, welcome back. You can be part of the live show by joining us in our Discord at discord.phpugly.com. Discord goes all week long. Feel free to hang out in there and chat with us. But most importantly, during the show, you're part of the live show. That's what you see if you're watching the video. On the side of your screen there is the live chat that's happening in Discord as we speak. And they even add show titles and suggestions and things like that. Real important part of the show. But what else is an important part of the show are the good people who sponsor us. Honeybadger.io, PHP Storm, and PHP Architect, which is the company John and I run, as well as some fantastic supporters on Patreon. And we're going to circle back around, talk about all of them in a little while. But for now, allow me to bring on to the show my business partner, John Congdon.
Just business partner now, I see. I like the new music leading into the show. Little maybe a little on the loud side, but it's good.
We got a love letter from YouTube saying they didn't like our music anymore and wanted us to change it.
Funny thing is, we're not monetized, so it's like, okay, what are you going to take away from us?
Exactly. It's weird because we use a service that we specifically use to allow for streaming music and music we can download so that we can use on the podcast. And I guess whatever music we were using, the artist decided to change their licensing model, and something happened. I was telling John about this. We use Pretzel. We've used Pretzel now for a while. And Pretzel has all these filters you can add to make sure you stay within compliance of whatever license is associated to the music that's playing. The one I always default to is YouTube safe and downloadable. That means that I can download the music and then I can add it to video and play it on YouTube. And there used to be a very big selection when I did that, like hundreds and hundreds of different genres and music that I could download. And when we got the notice last week saying we had copyrighted material on our video, and to John's point, it really didn't impact us because we're not monetized through YouTube. So there's nothing for them to withhold from us, but we want to be good. We try to stay in compliance. We're not intentionally trying to do anything wrong here. Mm-hmm. So I went back to Pretzel, and something happened in the world of music and licensing, because all of a sudden, where Pretzel had so much music available to download and that was downloadable in YouTube safe, that number shrunk massively, where it was like getting hard to find something that fit for the intro. So that's how we ended up with new music.
We're getting some funny suggestions for titles already for the show. You mentioned a very important date, November 30th, 2023. Why is that such an important date? And why should people know what that is?
Not only is it an important date, but it's an important time. So in the next hour, it will be the official close of the call for presentations for PHP Tech 2024. Why do you say the next hour? Why doesn't it just go to midnight? Well, it's because PHP Tech 2024 is being held in Chicago, and so it's all based off that time zone. So
is it really? I didn't even know that.
I just looked at it today. Yeah, I just looked at it today and realized that it's like, oh yeah, CFP closes in an hour. I'm like, well, damn, I was a little bit more time to give our listeners. So if you're listening to this show and you haven't submitted your talk yet, you might want to do it fairly quickly.
Because we can't change the date and extend it at all. It doesn't work.
Impossible. It's just not something that's built into the system. We've had a great turnout, by the way. Anybody interested? First thing, it's cool to see the ticket purchases happening now. We're getting it's not crazy, but we're getting a steady little tick of people buying blind early bird tickets right now.
Which you want to do now, because in a week or two, that's The prices are going up.
Yep, it's going away. But yeah, we've had, looking at the numbers, a lot of talks submitted. Now, what it represents as talk submitted might be the same talk submitted in different formats, a 30-minute, a 60-minute, a keynote.
Right.
But lots of talks. We're averaging, I don't know, being around 4 talks per speaker, per unique speaker. And we're well in the triple digits of unique speakers. So pretty big pool of people to
I was gonna say
from.
there's the actual like sessions per speaker number right there.
Where?
Are you on the dashboard?
Yeah.
So you have sessions, unique speakers, and then sessions per speaker.
Oh, 3. All right. So yeah, 3. All right. Three talks per speaker. That's a good average. That's about what you want. If you're submitting to a conference, not only our conference, but if you ever submit to a conference, 3 talks is a good number to submit. For sure.
Ben, you can still get your talks in. You got time?
No. See, Ben lives in Nashville, so it's already past. It's already past time for him. He's already lost out.
Oh man, I just accidentally closed Discord. Hit the wrong button. That doesn't work.
Oh man. All right, Congdon, how is your week going?
My week could be better. You know, ups and downs, lots of ups and downs. We haven't been on in 2 weeks. We did not record last week. It was Thanksgiving here in the U.S. Had a great day, family over. Can't complain there. And then I always love the Friday and weekend after Thanksgiving. Friday is always let's get all the Christmas stuff down, put the tree up, and just the kids and us. It's just the 4 of us here decorating. I try very hard not to let the kids play Christmas music before Thanksgiving, even though they tend to try all the time. And I'm like, stop it. And then not yet. But yeah, it was just a great weekend after that. And then the week kicked off. It's been okay. Like I said, ups and downs. I got stuff on my Trello board that we'll get into in a little bit. How about yours?
Went well. Thanksgiving was great. Had NorCal kid flew in. SoCal kid came over. Everybody brought their partners with them. Partners plus pets, apparently. Holiday weekend. We had a NorCal kid got a new cat. Not even a kitten. It was a rescue, a little over a year old, I think. But they flew with it and brought it to the house, and that was fun. So yeah, we had a great dinner. SoCal kid did a majority of the cooking, like pretty much all of it. Current wife made one of my favorite desserts. One I tried not to like, and I just could not but love it. It's a dessert she makes called Sin. It's like a pudding and nuts, and oh god, it's just so good. I've intentionally left a piece for the current wife because I don't think she's had an opportunity to have any, and it's been in there now for a couple days, and I don't know if I have another day in me to not go eat it because it's the last piece. But that went well. I got my OCR refactor deployed. It was really nice because I used my goal this time was to abstract everything away so that we could add additional services with less of an impact, because the service we had initially been using, I talked about in the past, it was meant to be a proof of concept. It was never meant to be a full app, and it became a full app.
You proved the concept, and the client was like, make it live.
Well, we can sell this, basically, is what they said. We can sell this. We're going to start selling it. So I had abstracted a lot of it away, where each unique service now will have its own service provider, so that whatever is unique to that service can be containerized within its own service provider, then it has to adhere to a DTO, a data transformation object, to send it out as the API endpoint, so that it adheres to whatever the clients are expecting to use is the DTO. So whatever the service is, it has to adhere to this DTO to get it out of the system. So that's been fun. I felt real good about that. I ran into something I thought would be really easy. I tried to use enums. I think maybe I guess I've kind of come to the realization that maybe I was trying to use enums improperly. Because if you think about what enum is actually meant to be, I was probably trying to do too much. But what it came down to is our client. One of the fields that gets identified through this OCR reader is a state, and the format of how our client stores that state in their environment is essentially the whole state name. And a lot of these OCR readers just try to do the abbreviation, CA for California, for example. So I'm like, all right, I feel like I could just make this, an enum. I feel like I could just make this enum where it's just like all the states and their abbreviation, and like the abbreviation would just, the value of the abbreviation be the full state name. And I thought if I did that, I would be able to get the full state name by doing a try from with the abbreviation in it. And I just couldn't seem to get that to work. And I swear, I thought I'd done that in the past, but clearly I hadn't. And I don't know. I probably could have switched them around so that the state name was first and the value was the abbreviation. But then I had the issue where the state name would have to not have any spaces in it. And we have, fun fact, here in the US, do you know all of our multi-word states are either a direction of north, west, or south, or new is the other outlier. There's only one state that has multiple words that doesn't adhere to any of that. Can you name that state? It would be a tough one for Ramsey.
Road. Yeah. Oh, I just saw that too.
Yeah, Rhode Island. Yeah, Ramsey got it. Rhode Island is the only state in the U.S. that's not either new something, north something, south something, or West Virginia, basically.
Can't say West something.
Yeah. So, I learned that because I did a lot of looking at states. And the client actually has states. I actually named it regions because they're not actually states, but states outside the continental U.S., including Puerto Rico is one, Guam. They have like territories. I think they had a couple in Canada as well. I think they had Alberta and Ontario. So they're really regions more than states. Anyways, since it was like very specific to this client, I just kind of made a service for the client as well that did that translation with a basic match. Yeah, but I feel like I was doing too much enums.
Yeah, I wouldn't think of that as an enum per se. Yeah, and like you said, a service using are you using the actual match operator? Is it an operator or a statement? I always get them confused.
I think I consider it an operator.
But you're using match for that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, we just got 8.2 released to the point where we can actually write 8.2 code now. We were on 7.4 before. Not sure why my browser currently says, oops, something went wrong trying to reload page. That's not good. On the Restream page. Anyway.
I just blocked somebody in chat. I just blocked somebody in chat, so I think it has something to do with that.
Oh, okay. Anyway, So I'm able to write 8.2 code now. As A Woods points out, 8.3 just released. So we're now on the road to push towards 8.3, which is great. But the fact that I can write 8.2 code in the main code base I work in every day now feels so nice, because I get to, on some of the smaller things. We have a small CLI script that we use, Archie script, that I get to run on 8.3, and I get to write 8.3 code there, but it's not my day-to-day. It's when I want to do something fun, I can go do that. But now I can, and it's great. I think one of my favorite new things that somebody just submitted a 170 file, roughly, PR, was adding the never return type.
I don't understand this.
So, being legacy code, there's lots of places that one call a function that we have called redirect, which just spits out a location and then exits. So it will never return. We have, for some reason, other functions that literally just call exit. Don't know why, but we're not trying to change that per se. We're trying to make the code more understandable to something like PHP stands. So the things that just exit do that. We have other functions that literally just throw an exception, so there's never going to be a return from there. So adding the never return type helps with static analysis all the way down, and the amount of code that was able to be removed because of that, because all of a sudden PHP stand and PHP storm are like, you're calling a method that will never return, and you're trying to do stuff after that, so you can remove all this dead code, is really nice.
So this differentiates from the null return type, because null implies, hey, you're going to get a return, but it's going to be null.
Right. Never means it's not coming back. You get into here, you're done.
Interesting.
Yeah. And for the most part, almost all the changes were around methods that called redirect. You'd get in there, it would exit, so it would never return. So anything that was called after that, which was usually an exit because, why not exit twice, or a return saying, I told them to redirect, I don't want to be in this method anymore. We never hit those lines anyway. They're just added, just unnecessary lines within the code base. So those are now gone.
I gotta say, I don't think I have ever. Well, first, I don't think I ever knew there was a never return type, and
Well, it's new.
I don't think I've ever used it. I don't know if I ever would. It's weird. That just seems like one of those weird things to use.
You're only going to use it if your method exits or will always throw an exception for whatever reason. It's not.
But isn't throwing an exception? Wouldn't that be considered a return type?
Nope, because you're not returning from the method. Something outside could catch it, but you're not going to return to that point in the code base. So you're not going to return to the line that called it. You're going to end up in the catch block below it.
Gotcha.
So everything after that call, after that function call, before the catch is garbage code, because you're never getting back from there.
Gotcha. Right. Well, I mentioned we have some sponsors, and one of the sponsors we have would be a good tool that would help you identify when you might want to use Never Call, PHP Storm. So it's here from PHP Storm.
Thanks to JetBrains and PHP Storm for partnering with us. PHP Storm is a cutting-edge IDE tailored for PHP and web developers. Whether you're a newcomer or it's just been a hot minute since your last dive in, there's never been a better time to revisit. With a slick, clean new UI, blazing speed enhancements, and a richer toolkit, it's transforming the way we code. It's time to start coding like a professional. Visit jetbrains.com/PHP Storm and kick off your 30-day free trial. Code smarter. not harder.
Thanks, PHP Storm.
Thank you, PHP Storm.
So, so you said you're moving on to PHP 8.3, which is actually a great thing. Can you believe we are at a point in our life where 8.0, PHP 8.0 is no longer supported?
I
Like,
know that
not
was
even a little bit.
that was actually one of the big impetuses to get this finally released. Granted, 7.4 has been end of life for a while now, but the team was like, we're ready. Let's get 8.2 out because 7.4 is already end of life. 8.0 is now end of life. We need to be done.
And 8.1 is only security fixes right now for like the next
Mhm.
year. That's so crazy. Like we were just on 7.1, it felt like.
There are a lot of people that are complaining about the pace at which PHP is moving with things like this, especially around security fixes. But I remember back to the PHP 4, PHP 5 days where it lingered on so long that people just didn't upgrade. So the point of the not rapid, but the very expected dates, like we are going to have a new release, is to help everyone get ready for it. Trying to make the upgrades easier. Going from 5 to 7 was such a pain in the ass. We realized at that point we need to be more regimented around the upgrade process. Everyone should stay focused and have your deprecations turned on. As soon as you upgrade and start getting deprecation warnings, fix that code so that you're ready to roll when the time comes.
But not only that, but the tools that are now available. You mentioned PHP Stan earlier. The tools that are available to help people move forward, to continue to move forward, are so much better than they used to be. It used to be. I mean, you mentioned back in the 5 days. I think deprecation was the only thing I remember being able to have a clue of what was going to break on the next release. I think there were some static analyzers out there, but I don't think any of them were like, or at least for me, I wasn't commonly using any of them back then.
Yeah, using them a lot now. It's so nice, but it's the more robust return types, type hinting, just type support that we have now, where we can actually use static analysis.
Right.
Ben Ramsey pointed out that there's an RFC in place right now to extend the life cycle by a year, extend security support
Of
by another
8?
year.
Of what? 8?
Just in general, just because right now it's 1 year after end of life.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's, yeah. I I want to say it's a good cadence we have going in the PHP world, but I also understand the reality of like big business and enterprise and how slow things move in those worlds. That I guess I can see the reason for that, the need for that.
Yeah, I mean, it took on the team that we're working on, that I work with, it took a good year, but he was very diligent of wanting things to be right. It wasn't upgrade and pray. It was there's a lot of stuff that he wanted to be perfect before upgrading.
Yeah.
So there's pros and cons because a lot of your code will still work, but it's just not optimal. Getting
And
the types in there helped so much.
something else Ramsey pointed out. First thing I would want to point out that 8.3, which was released, is a PHP architect contributor, is one of the release manager, Eric Mann. I take a lot of pride in the fact that I finally got Eric elected as a release manager. But if you are on older versions of PHP, Zen, which is like a big company behind who supports PHP long term. Zen still has long term support. You have to pay for it. It's not the free open source. Yeah, I just want you guys to support this. Be nice to me, like you get with the current release cadence of the internals team. But yeah, Zen, we got to talk to the people over at Zen at Longhorn. They had the table next to us. It was real fun catching up with them and what they've been up to lately. So it's kind of cool to see them go out there chugging along in the PHP world. But they're
Yep.
still supporting older versions of PHP.
Yep.
I actually stumbled across when we came up on the end of life of PHP. I stumbled across a new site that I want to share with everybody called End of Life, and it has end of life kind of reporting on a lot of stuff, not only languages, which I have up on the screen now showing PHP. But where did I just open this up at? I lost it. Oh, over here. If you look on the left hand side here, I mean, he even has Pop OS. It has the releases of Pop OS, Python, RabbitMQ. It has frameworks in here. It has Laravel. It had, I think, WordPress. There's some Symfony here.
Squid. I haven't used Squid in forever. That's
I don't
funny.
know. What is Squid?
It's a reverse
Oh,
proxy.
Yeah.
Or caching proxy. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was still a thing, man. Holy smokes.
God,
Tails?
used to have that in place in companies I worked at. Like I put that up, and then while it's meant to be a cache, but it's also a spy tool to see where people are surfing and to also restrict where people surf to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff on End of Life. It has a really easy API as well. I was messing around with the API earlier, so it's really cool. What are you talking about?
Kenrick, I wonder if it lists my career on End of Life. Your career's not going end of life. You bought a ticket to tech. Come on.
That's
now.
Right, man. You're just moving up in the world.
Your career's skyrocketing. Yeah.
So I thought that I'll add that to show notes as well. That was really cool to come across. I like coming across new sites like that.
I got something that's not PHP focused, but I did something for PHP Architect recently that I thought was pretty interesting. I upgraded the PHP Architect database in Amazon RDS, but I used their new, I don't know if it's new or how long it's been around, but their blue-green deployment for RDS. And it worked really well.
Explain to me again, what's the blue-green deployment?
So when deploying code, your blue is your current production. I always get blue and green. It doesn't make sense to me, but I think blue is your current production. You then deploy your new version, your green version, to a separate set of servers or however you want to set up your infrastructure. You can then point people to either or. So maybe you have a group of users that are now going to run on the green version, for testing it. And then you can slowly move some percentage of your users over, and you are increasing the exposure of that environment. And then at some point you cut over, and now you're on the green version. You shut down the blue version. So it's just blue-green deployments. RDS has it built in to where you can basically take a current RDS database, create a new version, and you're cloning it at the same time, except we were on 5.7. Now I had an 8.0 version that was my green version. It keeps it in sync. So while people are doing purchases on the website, all that kept flowing into the 8.0 database. So basically you're testing at least your inserts, right? Your inserts and updates and deletes, not necessarily your selects, but we don't do anything fancy, right? We do basic selects out of the database. So I wasn't worried about that. Once everything was up and running, I was fine. I then hit the migrate button, like move over. Now we're on MySQL 8. Simple as that.
Amazon RDS is not a cheap service, but man, they really do it well. Like for what you pay, you get your money's worth out of it. I feel like it's hard not to like RDS. RDS saved our ass a couple times with their snapshotting, which was great to have one time when we really
the snapshotting, the point in time
recovery. Yeah.
Recovery is really nice. The replication, like automatic replication. I've managed plenty of MySQL servers, and setting up my replication isn't hard, but it's tedious, and when things go sideways, it is a pain.
Yeah, and
if
it's
you ever
definitely one of those things you
do
have
an
to
update on a replication,
yeah, it's one of those things you have to monitor, right? Because you take for granted it's replicated, and you go and you see, oh yeah, your replication is behind like 3 days. It's horrifying.
Yeah, having good monitoring is super important.
Well, let's talk about some good monitoring, should we?
Let's do that. Thanks to our friends at honeybadger.io for sponsoring this podcast. Monitoring, like web development, can be complicated. There are tons of tools and techniques, but you just want to know that your app is up and that your customers are happy. When your customers encounter a problem, you need clear, actionable intelligence, not walls of charts and reams of logs to tail. That's why they built Honeybadger, the monitoring tool we always wanted. A tool that's there when you need it and gets out of your way when you don't, so that you can keep shipping code, know when critical errors occur, and which customers are affected. Respond instantly when your systems go down. Improve the health of your systems over time, and fix problems before your customers can report them. Honeybadger is the application health monitoring tool built for you, the developer who cares about a quality product and happy customers. Be the hero of your team and sign up for a free trial and start monitoring today at honeybadger.io. Setup takes as little as 5 minutes. See what you've been missing and fix it. Once again, that's www.honeybadger.io. Thank you, Honey
Thank you,
Badger.
Honey Badger. All right, so we got the November edition of PHP Architect out.
We did before the end of the month.
Before the end, we had days to spare.
Days.
We're taking a little bit of a different approach with the cover on this one. I really would like some feedback. If you subscribe to PHP Architect, let us know what you think of the cover. I'm not going to tell you what we
pros or cons.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what we did differently. I mean, the layout will obviously be different, but there are things about it that I'm interested just to see if you guys like it or not. Just give us some general feedback on it. If you're not a subscriber to PHP Architect, what the hell's wrong with you? Why are you here and not there subscribing at this very moment? We've been having internal conversations about more ways to become a subscriber. And,
should we? I haven't automated it. I
know that's what I did. I was going to say John's got a few things on his plate to get to, but I don't know. You want to mention it or not?
Yeah, sure. By mentioning it is going to make me have to get off my ass and do it, right? That's the theory.
That's the idea here. Actually, it would be let's tie it all together. Let's tie it all together here. Let me get that up. All right. First, we'd like to thank our supporters on Patreon.
Yes.
So thank you all of our Patreon supporters. I left November on there because we're technically still in November, last day of the month. So I did remove the turkey, but I like the light leaves in the background.
Yeah, I do like that. It's very calming, that image.
Yes.
It's just the gentle sway of the trees. So he puts this up because we've been talking. If you are a patron at the $5 level or higher, we will include a subscription to PHP Architect magazine.
Yes.
We say that. I now need to automate that and make it actually happen.
Right. So all of our Patreon supporters who are at $5 more, you can be a Patreon supporter as low as $1. I think it's $1,
Actually, it
$2.
can be
and then-
as low as free.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's a free tier now, isn't there? But yeah, if you're a Patreon supporter of $5 or more, you will get a free digital subscription to PHP Architect. We're still working on it. Like John said, we need to automate it. If you really need it and you really want it, ping John.
No, for real, it'll help me get things done. The hard part is we don't get their webhooks are terrible already.
Patreon. You're talking about Patreon's webhook.
Yeah, Patreon's webhooks are terrible. They're not very well defined. Or documented, because you go there and they're like, oh, these 3 are deprecated, but it's the only 3 that are documented, and then they have 6
Right.
new ones, but they don't really make sense as far as how they're different. Long story short, I have work I have to do. Bombard me with questions like, hey, when is this going to be done? Make me finish the project.
Yeah, we'll get it done. We'll get it done. But we're happy to do. We've been wanting to do something like that for a while. We've had a lot of discussion about the best approach for it, and we've kind of figured all that out. It's
And
nice.
it's just, yeah, and we appreciate you guys being patrons for so long as it has been.
Yeah. I think we need to send Buttery like a print copy, as long as that guy's been a supporter. I'm not saying we will, Buttery. I'm just saying I'm on your side on this one. Okay, I'm making that argument.
Ben,
What?
the first one ever.
I thought you made it too obvious, but yes, that is the first time anybody has ever called that out.
Since we took over PHP Architect, we've been doing that, Ben.
So
every month is different.
What Ben has stumbled upon was a little Easter egg John and I have been doing at PHP Architects for the last couple of years, where it says edited by. It used to say the editor-in-chief, Oscar at the time, but there's so many people who are involved with the editing of the magazine now, we didn't want to kind of just point to one person. So every month we changed the edited by to something else, and nobody has ever noticed until, at least to our knowledge. Nobody said anything to us about it.
So
that's crazy. Now you can go back and look at all the previous editions and see who edited it.
Oh, that's great. I'm happy it happened live on the show. It makes it even better.
Now we should start putting our Patreon supporter names in there or something. Brought to you by one of the Patreon names.
You should not have said that. You should have left it be.
Yeah, you get a medal, Ben. I'll award it to you at Tech 2024. Just make sure you're there.
One way or the other. That works.
Yeah.
Speaking of tech. Time is running out. 15 minutes left, people. 15 minutes if you want to speak at PHP Tech.
I am beyond the speaking. I'm saying you now want to start getting your blind early bird tickets. Now is your time. Go to your boss tomorrow, if you have a boss, and say, boss, this is for the benefit of the company, of me, and everything else. You need to give me this ticket. Actually, that's not true. If you have a boss, you work for a company, just pay the full price. If you don't have a boss and you're paying for it, you want to go now.
Every time you start the share in Restream, where it's grayed out in the bottom, and then as you turn it on, your mic is doing a funky crackle. I don't know why.
Interesting. I hear that of your mic as well. I was wondering if you were hearing it.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
So, we've run a couple of conferences now. We know what goes into it. We know the hassles, how hard it is. Edward Surzovs, is that? I don't know how you pronounce this. has taken it to a whole nother level. Oh my gosh. Have you read anything about what this person has done?
Or you're asking me?
Yeah.
I just read what was shared with us earlier in
Yeah.
Discord. I
Yeah.
didn't really dive any deep. I didn't really care that much beyond
guess-
what was said.
No, I guess he puts on a conference, and then diversity is hard. Like we work really hard. We want a more diverse conference. Like we support diversity at the conference. We try really hard not to we try really hard to put on a good conference for everybody. This person went so far as to like create fake profiles so to make it seem like the conference was more diverse than it was, to get more people to go to whatever conference he was putting on. It was just a like, how do you go that far to lie that much about it?
So did you I'm not trying to call you out or anything, but did you, like I said, I read the article and I read I forget the person's name who was making these accusations, but did you actually confirm that stuff? Like it,
I don't know how it actually confirmed. I clicked on a bunch of the links and saw what people were saying.
Yeah.
So again, accusations. It just seems like I don't know. I don't think it increased diversity of the conference. I think it was
trying to give the appearance that there was diversity, but like then the diversity would like pull out of the speaking engagement. Like there was a focus on this one particular tech influencer, which is a real account. I mean, I did check that out, and the accusation is that it was this account, whether it's a real person or not. All it does is like an echo chamber for this other individual in his conference, and it was the person wasn't a real developer. It was kind of the story how I was reading it. So yeah, I'm kind of with you, John. It's like I read the story. It definitely comes from one person who seems to have some experience with it. I believe that they were slated to speak, or I don't know. I have to go back and read it again, but I had challenges kind of confirming what was being said. So you people watching, listening, it's in the show notes. Go to it, read up on it. Maybe our Discord is so good at this sort of stuff and trying to find, finding more information about it. I would love to get that more information.
Yeah, it was more that this person was posting as themselves, and then posting in the fake female persona, almost the same information, but dressing it up a little bit, like adding additional emojis, and then commenting on the conference on how good it was with diversity as a fake female person. So it seemed like there were more females, commenting on the conference. Again, that's the accusation.
Mm.
On top of that, using, sex sells, so using half naked women or whatever in some ads or however they did it, trying to appeal to other people. I don't know, just found it interesting.
Yeah, but we are honestly interested in diversity, so it's weird the way I really want to stress, like, it's not something we intentionally try to do. Our first couple of rounds of kind of figuring out what talks interest us is a blind round. So we actually, when we give it to the people at PHP Architect to say, hey, what talks do you like? And then we also have other people in the community we'll invite in and have them kind of give us their feedback on talks as well. We don't know anything about the presenter. Obviously, if it's a talk that somebody
you've
who's
seen
doing the
before.
reviews, they might, if you're in the community enough, you kind of have an idea of who does what talks, or maybe it's a talk you submitted. But just in general, it's we strip all that out. Then I think it really comes down to John and I will start to kind of review things, and again, we want diversity, but we don't. I don't know how to explain it. Like we don't say, okay, we're going to make sure we have X amount of this demographic. We don't do that. We just try to make sure we have a good spread of topics and of levels. One of the things we're going to be focusing on a little bit more is trying to have a track that's maybe a little bit more advanced, because we got that as a big feedback last year, and it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing.
Yeah,
because,
I mean, running a conference in general is a tough thing.
Right.
I was actually thinking of asking you, what do you think about opening up this rating of talks? Because the way I put it to somebody else is, we have a group of people that you're basically comparing title and abstract. You're not seeing any other information.
Right.
So it's like, what interests you? And then the cream rises to the top, right? We then we get a ranking of, here's all X hundred of the submissions in, of what everyone kind of liked in some sort of rated order. And then we can start to fill in, okay, we want these advanced talks, these soft talks, these beginner talks, whatever the case is. Here's the keynotes we like. Here's the 30-minute slots we like. What are your thoughts about if somebody wrote to us and said, hey, I would love to help just go through the list and give my feedback? Given the fact that it's not a quick thing, it does take a good hour or two at least.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I feel like we already kind of do that, don't we? I think we probably go out and ask people more than
last for this year's tech. We went out and asked people.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really make it a, hey.
So you're saying, like, listeners of the show, if somebody
Right.
wants to be part of this process, they can reach out to us.
That's what I'm thinking.
No problem with that. I think it should be somebody who's bought a ticket, though. I think you should have bought a ticket. That's how I feel about it.
You get 2 votes if you bought a ticket.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Your vote matters if you buy a ticket. I'm definitely down for it. I think the more feedback we get, the better. Like you said, especially the first couple of rounds, there's so many talks. Like, just kind of getting an understanding of what people are interested in seeing, and trying to find talks that you haven't seen at other conferences yet is also another kind of sweet spot. I got that from somebody. Somebody had asked me, like, well, first thing, I need to take down the pay for last year's talk. So we have the paywall in front of the talk from PHP Tech 2023. And somebody had mentioned, well, why don't you start releasing it? And there's part of me, I'm like, yeah, that I wouldn't mind doing that, but also that dilutes that speaker's speaking opportunities potentially. Like if
I'm not a fan of that, and without express permission from the speakers.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't understand that, right? It's like there are people. This is not a. I guess even if it was a specialty talk, like a Laravel talk or something like that, these presenters will go and give these talks at multiple conferences, and the reason they can do that is because it's not out there for free. So that's why we haven't released them, and we have no intention on releasing them. I think Longhorn might be if anybody's interested.
They mentioned that they probably will, but they may get feedback from the speakers prior to doing it, and they may not. I don't know. I don't know if they had any sort of speaker agreement. We did do that with Tech 23, only because I wanted permission to record them.
Right.
I didn't. Legalities, laws are so stupid. I hate trying to deal with that. So I was trying to protect us, protect the speaker. I wanted it to be clear that yes, you will be recorded. Although I think it's common practice nowadays, right?
Yeah.
To have some sort of stream.
And Ramsey says that he doesn't feel like it diminishes his talks, and Longhorn will be releasing ones where a speaker has agreed to have it released. And that's great. Like that, that's how I feel about it. Like if you as the speaker want to release it, it's so easy to release these things on YouTube now. You know, you have that power. I think as a conference organizer, we just, we leave that up to the speaker and trying to, I applaud Longhorn for kind of wanting to manage who wants it released and who doesn't want it released. To me, it's just like, yeah, if you want it released, I'll give you the talk. You can release it. I'm fine with that.
No, I like the idea of making that an option. If the speaker doesn't care and we can release it on PHP Architect's channel, I would rather do that. Again, like Ben said, there is something to be said for seeing a talk live, being able to ask questions. Every time a presenter gives it, it changes a little bit. You give a talk once, you get feedback, it's probably going to change. You're not going to give the same exact talk. I mean, it'll be really close, but it'll be tweaked a little bit, fixed, whatever the case may be. But then being able to have that Q&A during, after the talk, sitting with the speaker at lunch or afterwards at a conference, that's where the value is really at.
That's the thing, that it's so hard to convince somebody who hasn't been to an in-person conference how beneficial that is. Like to have somebody like Ben or somebody like Sarah, or even these people who speak at these conferences or attend these conferences and sit down at lunchtime and just kind of have general conversations with them, or the Q&As after the talks are just so incredible. Just so incredible. Yeah.
That's where it's at. So I'm getting excited for it.
Yeah, we're coming up to having to start to do things again. Like we had a nice little break of, okay, website's up, call for papers are out,
It's that time. I can't get my arm over. It's midnight. It's closed. Officially
has
closed.
Actually closed. We have to update the website now.
Well, we didn't plan on that.
Open incognito mode. It is closed.
Yeah.
Sorry, no longer possible.
We had 5 during the show in the last hour.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys are awesome, man. Look at that.
Is there still time to submit?
What happened?
Sarah. Is there still
Sarah's
time
here.
Sarah. I don't know. Did Sarah actually get talks in this time?
I hope so.
Nope.
Dun, dun, dun. Finished less than an hour ago. There you go. Live on the show. Shut the door on you. Shut the door. That's great. Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. What else you got? Anything else? What else you got to talk? I feel like I had something else. Oh, I you know me. I love my filament, and Dan and the filament team has released their new version of filament PHP 3.1. Got released yesterday, I think. The 29th. Was that yesterday? Yeah. So for all you filament people out there, check out the new release of Dan's filament PHP 3.1. They did a lot of hard work on it, so I need to go upgrade a few things, including Tech TV, which we just talked about. So need to update that.
Always so much to work on.
And Symphony 7.0 got released as well, which I need to get back into Symphony now. Although I got to be honest with you, man, that what was the package called? API platform. I think that's my next thing, man. I think I'm gonna start building some stuff in API platform. I know fucking Steve's been doing some stuff in API platform as well. So yeah, I gotta get me some of that.
Yeah, it looks definitely looks interesting. Ben is talking about Peter Meth and his son Easton. They were at Longhorn. Yeah, that's really cool. When you can go to a conference with your kid and have fun. It was fun watching them together. I mean, my kids are 9. You know what it's like to be able to go out and have a drink with your kids, right? That seems
when they were 9 years old, we were getting hammered.
That's not what I meant.
Oh no,
no. Peter and his kid Easton were there, and like we hung out a couple of nights and up in Omni's room having a beer or 17. It was good times.
I keep floating the idea past the family of doing a whole family trip to Chicago in April, bringing NorCal and SoCal kid with me. But I don't know. Everybody's adults and have busy lives, so I don't know.
It's 5 months away.
I don't know. SoCal kid just started a new job, so it's or not new. Like still working at the same hospital. They started a new position. And then they're probably going to start another new position in about 5 or 6 months because they got some certifications to keep moving forward.
I actually had that thought at Thanksgiving. Actually, talking to my brother-in-law, he's again applying for a new position, a raise. I'm like, that's one thing you don't get when you own a business is that like, what's the next thing? Where am I going with my career? Right? We're trying to build the business, and that's what we're constantly looking for. But there's part of me that kind of misses it, but a bigger part of me that doesn't. Like interviewing doesn't sound like fun. Where am I going to go? It doesn't sound like fun.
Champ, we use nicknames here. I gave your kid a great nickname, and I don't remember what it was now. What did I call it? Butter?
No, it was another H, wasn't it?
What did I call your kid, Champ? Damn it! I enjoyed that name too. Anyways, yes, bring them. Bring yourself, and hey, while you're at it, bring her stuff.
Bring a trailer.
You know that trailer of projectors and stuff. Why don't you just hitch that onto your car and bring it with you if you don't mind?
Pickles.
That would be pickles. That's what I was calling her. Pickles. Yes. Pickles.
Next time we'll take you to somewhere better than a Denny's.
We tried to take him to Shoeless Joe. I don't know if Sarah, I know you're not in the Chicago area anymore, but Shoeless Joe moved and they closed early now, apparently.
Well, the one by the hotel closed down a while ago, and then you tried going to a different location that was also closed down or closed for the evening or something.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So what you were talking about, I was just thinking about that recently as well, and it's just like it's tough. I miss not having to think about every aspect of the business, like just being a developer and just worried about the project I'm working on, and just doing that would be nice. That's why I think I enjoy when I get those moments where I get back into coding and I can be laser focused on some coding for a while, because I kind of feel like I'm that person again. But then you get dragged into so many different directions. But also, I mean, the reality, nothing's ever felt so satisfying than the work we do now. And it's selfish. It's completely selfish because I feel like, I don't know. I enjoy it. It would be hard mentally for me. I think it'd be hard for me to have to report to somebody again. I'm selfish, man. I just like setting the rules and saying, okay, this is how we're doing it.
And you're so good at running a business.
I feel like we'd be more successful if I was good at it. But... Oh, did I misunderstand you, Sarah? Okay, it's not coming in through the channel. I just saw. Apparently, when you do a reply in Discord, it doesn't get to restream.
Right.
But that's my fault, Sarah. I misunderstood you. Anyways, Shoeless Joe, Sarah, the new Shoeless Joe place was closed on us. All right. What else you got? Anything?
I think the other cards I have, I'm gonna save for next week. Actually, one of them is probably dead, but yeah, I'm good.
Right.
Thought that was a good one. I'm excited. Excited about tech.
I'm excited. Yeah, I guess that's going to do it. Let me queue up our outro stuff. I think we still have outro, right? I might have deleted it. I did not delete it. All right, that's going to do it for episode 361. I'm Eric.
I'm John.
Keep it ugly.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Yep.
Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles that cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP the Ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting. I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
All right.
Your kids complain about student loans.
Yeah. They are still working on their nursing degree.
So you just keep adding to the student loans, huh?
I know. They're spending $50,000 to make $40,000.
That sounds about right. I have a very disturbing picture on my screen right now.
What? I am objectively just the worst? Well, yeah, that's... What's your picture in the screen?
My kid went to the dentist today, and he's got one of those spreaders in his mouth so I can take pictures of his teeth. It's just like... My wife sent it to me. I'm like, well, why?
So Sarah, I actually had a card we didn't get to because it wasn't really relevant, but it talks about the most expensive places to live in the U.S. and of the first 10, 7 of them are in California. San Diego being number 1. Here, I'll open it up to share with you.
Yeah,
it is so stinking crazy. San Diego and LA. It used to be San Francisco was like this just massively expensive place, but I guess San Diego and
it's still on the list, just not.
Yeah, I think it's like number 4 or 5 now. So yeah, San Diego, LA, Hawaii, of course, Miami, Santa Barbara, San Francisco.
You didn't turn on the share there, buddy. I got you.
Damn it! Thank you. Yeah, so go top again.
Yeah.
I
So
don't understand what overall score is.
I think you and I both got lucky in the fact that we moved to San Diego when we were no kids, right? So you're able to live cheap, save some money, and then we also bought houses years ago.
Mm.
I happened to buy my house at the right time. While it was super expensive compared to what I could get in Florida, it was pretty cheap for San Diego.
Right.
And now I'm just never gonna move because I can't afford it.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you can sell it for a crazy amount of money, but you can't buy anything anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like of the top 10, I think 7 of them are LA based areas. I'm sorry, California based areas. It's California has just gotten ridiculously expensive. I hear it's all imploding though with I hear the whole Airbnb world is imploding, and
Is it?
yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
What did you hear?
Workout Kid says San Francisco is going downhill. Yeah, San Francisco is definitely a little rough around the edges, to be honest with you. A-Woods, I really want to get to New York. The current wife and I keep talking about going there. We want to go there during the winter, and the experience of winter in New York, because we just enjoyed cold and we enjoyed New York City.
Sarah, I can paraglide here. I don't want to leave.
Yeah, I mean it's expensive, but you're paying for some real luxuries. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's why you get into a house and you just stay there.
Oh, NorCal Kid. I'm not sure I would say great. San Francisco needs some work. I do love it up there. And I recognize that it is a metropolis. It's a lot of people in a very condensed area. But you've been to New York. Compare San Francisco to New York. Just like walking down the street, and tell me you think it's great. It's not great. I do like San Francisco. There's some beautiful parts of San Francisco, but it needs some work right now.
So does New York
me
City. I mean, there's parts of New York City that are a pain to walk down. Scary to walk down.
I like Chicago too. This last tech, the current wife and I spent some time downtown Chicago. That was really nice. Chicago's way cleaner than I thought it would be. Of all the cities I've been to, Chicago is probably the cleanest. Seattle would follow, then New York, then San Francisco. But Chicago was very clean, I felt like, for a city.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get out this year to be able to do a little exploring like that. Come out a little earlier, make sure we get everything set up, things going well, and then maybe head downtown one night.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Chicago downtown is surprisingly clean. Yep, I totally agree with you there, Sarah. Very nice. Oh, I didn't tell it. SoCal Kid, can I share what happened right before Thanksgiving with your girlfriend's neck of the woods? You tell me if I can share it. We have to wait for the delay. The delay now.
I may have shared a secret link with a couple of people to allow them to submit after midnight.
So, SoCal Kid got that taste of reality recently, where somebody, I'm going to use the word broke into very loosely. Somebody went into their vehicle I'm not going to say broken because they didn't have to break anything. They just opened the damn door because a kid didn't lock it. But, somebody went into their vehicle and took all their change and just bullshit. You know how people, they just grab whatever they can grab.
You remember that happened to me years ago, and I lost the MacBook Pro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's back in like 2017, 2018. It's been many, many years at this point, but yeah, I left it was after one of our meetups, and at some of our meetups, I may have drunk a little too much and got home, and I left my backpack in the car, and I came in, and then the next morning I'm like, where's my backpack? And I'm like,
I vaguely remember this.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh crap, I left it out in the car, and I got out, and it's not there, and I'm freaking out. And yeah, I just left the door unlocked, and somebody decided that was the night they were going to come to my house and take stuff.
I used to have a soft top Suzuki Samurai, so there was no locking it. Right, the thing literally the top snapped on, and I think I had like 2 or 3 radios stolen out of that thing. I didn't live in a great area, especially where my parents lived, and so having it broken into was like a regular thing. I don't even know why I kept keeping change in the ashtray, but yeah, I did enjoy that car. But man, it got broken into so much. I stopped reporting it because it was just took too much time.
And you get nothing out of it.
No, you get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know. Anything else? I think we can let our people go. If you are a listener to the show and you've got like some awesome talks, reach out and sweet talk us, and maybe we'll get you a secret link as well. But for the most part, the talks are closed. Yeah, and we definitely have some selection to do.
And if you want to be part of the selection process, hit me or Eric up in Discord. We are going to start reviewing talks probably tomorrow.
Yeah, start getting them out there.
The selection process, the ranking piece, that if you want to participate, you get shown 3 at a time, and you basically say, this is my first, second, third pick, whatever order you like them. If you really like 2 the same, you can say 1, 1, 2 or 1, 2, 2, however you want it to lay out, but it basically gives them a score. If you read up on Sessionize and their scoring methodology, they relate it to chess in their ELO scoring, which is pretty neat. But yeah, you're basically shown 3 random talks. You compare them. At the end, we basically get a ranked list.
Yeah, and you don't feel obligated to have to rank all of them. There's a lot of talks, but the more you can do, the better. So, yeah, that'd be great.
No, if you're gonna commit to helping, you need to do all of them.
What do you mean not a targeted demo, Sarah? I don't understand.
Not a PHP dev, a C dev, but I mean, you know what interests you. That's all we care about. What interests you at a conference?
Yeah, as an internals person, what would you like to see? Because there are a few internals people who attend PHP Tech, and we like to make sure they're happy. All right, the dog wants back in. I gotta go let her back in. We're gonna wrap this up.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. Bye.
Bye.